ekuya wofi menya krobo kwau achim ebuakwa ekuapem new jabin enum busugwa yilo krobo akwemu achim kotoku achim busume ni wana ahemfo ahima ni ekwai mantem manyina mawakaba mawatinase enne wa mekwai mantem ayekra behwe yeda wase enam say dua baako enye kwai no baako for red ra egu na wonfa anuhunu empam busieni nti nananum de nsiye ahofama ne oman bapaye kokode briwo moje ni prefer hodi momai edi kaifo mummo ne okupa senne Ghana fa hodie edi fisio die siesona onua edumi ne won soso se yebeye bi ato aso meye bi wonye no kwa meko bi wonkɔ no kwa okunso wonku no ahogono so obra kwantuo wodi adona edi kaifo odo biakoye ni ahopechi bo asumje sesetna aso lom asumje ebua ba adempa chechire omani na wohye amamra pa ma omani impenyinse payo hwei wi baako a ebu okaboma emu Ghana man mwenye biako na biako ye na eye ye hia sumdei wo bebiara ni bebiara ye yemu ye hia sumdei mapa ansa na yatu aba abatu brimu ni abatu echi enu na bema oman yi akoso happy de kangena gagano fofui blala mengena o eya dagana duko minna wada elabena musele deka wo me mi hia wuti papa le abisi afi pre wusi anu wo me mi hia wuti papa happy adago le kodai rekodago megbe amanyosem enya woko moma yembo asumdwe ayewo yi ho ban to abane a wo pɛ no na enkoin tokwa biara yehia asumdwe ni odo efise impenise asumofidua okra menya dabre amanyofo sememfo moma yembo asumdwe awotire impenye amanyosem na abatu bi aya asumdwe mama penina na do dan kwa kukwado Ghana no penny for this name.
Bene, we are Osaberima. Berima Pukudrofo no. So boy, we are of Waka Boagana for ye won't feel one of him. Yes, one yo, more a hennewa, more a cronto. Ghana man back I would die. Ghana man penny, Nana no down where Bukwado. Every man with this go. Chesapa, only when it's a woman chatting about Musso. What do you day? Who in fear after what makes a Ghana man penino? A poor man tell Munano Abri Pond Biaco. No, I him. I'm man in Nasi. Nami Israel when you not take us say. I would ask. When this was the way I paid a poor man. What do you recall so? He got a shower so. And it's a bar, a receiver. What this? Abudani, near don't bury my bed. Why are you? Don't be say, oh, who near why? Don't be say, oh, can you why? Yea, it's a cool for day. Yabeka, Nayaka, Atra, my sign at it. Yabebo hero. Atra, man sign, mania otie at it, mania ashishe every say, a sentienco, na sentienco, yet damn was it.
Shall we give them a round of applause? Students of Ghana Senior High School. They shine everywhere. The trainers were Miss Janet Waiwa, Miss Letitia Fema, and Mr. Joseph. Oh, Namilo, Ibidele, oh, Namilo, Ibidele, Ibidele, oh, Namilo, Ibidele, oh, Namilo. Your Excellency,
Ago adio, anu mowe. 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 Anu mowe. Ago adio, anu mowe. Ago adio, anu. Ao pinaile, wakubila. Pinaile, wakubilao. Pinaile, wakubilao. Pinao, wakubilao. Pinaile, wakubilao. Pinaile, wakubilao. Pinaile, wakubilao.
Thank you very much for both groups. Thank you for showing people equal rights. Thank you very much.
Applause for the Depot women. And that was a display of how Depot rights are performed. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have a cultural performance by the Center for National Culture here in the Eastern region.
Yes, Amamre Nye. Eastern region has 11 primacies, and we represent the primacy and the beautiful, famous flowers in Eastern region. Our fruits, our crops represent our economic empowerment. Our beads and our arts represent our identity. Our cocoa represents the economic empowerment as well. Hence, our partnership with Cote d'Ivoire. His Excellency,
Merci beaucoup. Enjoy our culture diversity.
Dance is a short dance dating back to 1535, performed by the new Dragon people.
Dance by the Ghana people. It was first performed in 1950. Focuses heavily on the use of the hands and feet, as well as dance steps in line to the rhythm. And that is the Takai from the Northern Belt, performed by the Dagomba people in the northern region of Ghana. It is solely performed by men at their annual Damba festival. Climaxing the performance is a variety of from music. We have the Achim from, the Atopratia from the Bono region, and Naria, a from dance from the Ashanti region. The Naria is one of the popular rhythms of Fonton from in Ghana. Thank you very much. Amamremu Adishie Agofoma for that spectacular performance. Our democracy, our pride, the two symbols are Funtum Funefu and then Chem Funefu and Matimesie. Funtum Funefu, then Chem Funefu, a symbol of democracy and diversity. Matimesie signifies wisdom, knowledge, and prudence. And that is the formation of the Black Star. A round of applause for Amamremu Adeshie Agofoma. The lead supervisor is Madame Dr. Salamatu Al-Hassan, Head of Performing and Literacy Arts, Emmanuel Nyakon, and the Miniature Construction, George Dakon from Fantiaka North Cultural Office, and Prince Akoto Apietu. The choreographer is Julius Yao Kwanzaa. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, I now hand over to Major Sowate to continue.
Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that wonderful cultural performance will be followed with a gymnastics display by personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School.
It's off.
The introduction of physical training in the Gold Coast, now Ghana, was initiated by the colonial authorities within the military and other security services across West Africa. The first physical training institution was established in Ibadan, Nigeria, as part of the West African Command Training School in 1940. In 1945, this institution was relocated to Ghana and housed at the Signal Regiment Gymnasium at Bema Camp in Accra. Subsequently, the Armed Forces Physical Training Corps was established in 1948, with its headquarters situated at the Elwak Stadium, also in Accra. The Physical Training School underwent redesignation in 1958 and was relocated to its current site at the Military Academy and Training Schools in Teshin, now known as the Training and Doctrine Command, since 1960. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the drilling displays ahead, let's be mindful that the upcoming stunts and maneuvers are going to be performed by highly trained professionals. We urge all children in attendance to refrain from attempting these stunts themselves. The safety of our young spectators is paramount, and trying to imitate these maneuvers can be extremely dangerous. Equally, we are humbly requesting parents, guardians, and teachers to keep watchful eyes on their children and wards to ensure they do not try any of these stunts. Thank you for your attention, and let's enjoy the performances. Currently, the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School is commanded by Captain Safianu Sulemana, with Captain Isahaku Abu as his second in command. Today's gymnastics display, however, is by Captain Gershon Adase. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Captain Gershon Adam chair for star jump and handstand forward roll, the dive and roll, the sail over and backward roll to handstand, the carry chair for handstand and forearm stand, the handspring, and then a series of head springs, which will then be followed with individual tricks to cap off the groundworks. What they are currently performing is a sail over and backward roll to handstand. That was the carry chair for handstand and forearm stand. They are now performing the handspring. They are now performing the series of head springs, which will be followed with some individual tricks. We give them a round of applause for that wonderful performance. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that was the last of the individual tricks. With the groundworks over, it is now time for the horse and vault works. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the physical training instructors will now perform a series of maneuvers generally termed boat skills and horsework. These drills are aimed at enhancing overall strength, hand-eye coordination, agility, flexibility, as well as building confidence. Among the stunts that the physical training instructors will be performing are the dive and roll, true vault, astride vault, bent back lift, and long arm drop. They will also perform the front somersault, hollow back lift, and then the most daring of all, the dive and roll through the loop. These instructors have trained for years to master the stunts they are performing. A high level of synchronization and timing are key in executing them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to cap off this afternoon's performance by personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces Physical Training School will be the dive and roll through the loop. We are once again cautioning our young ones in attendance to refrain from attempting any of these stunts themselves. A wonderful display by instructors of the Physical Training School of the Ghana Armed Forces. Shall we give them another round of applause? That wonderful display by instructors of the Physical Training School of the Ghana Armed Forces will be followed with a fast grouping display by personnel of the Army Special Operations Brigade in collaboration with the Ghana Air Force. In that vein, we are humbly requesting that all drone pilots should ground their equipment. All drone pilots should ground their equipment. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly witness fast roping from an helicopter by Special Forces personnel from the 64 Infantry Regiment and the 69 Airborne Force of the Army Special Operations Brigade. Also with the team will be a working dog called Brave from the Ghana Military Police. Fast roping is one of several methods employed for the insertion of troops into an area to conduct specialized operations. Currently deploying around the pitch are what is termed the Overwatch, and they are responsible for providing ground protection for the assault elements that will be deployed via fast roping to the objective area. For the purposes of today's demonstration, the white Toyota pickup parked on the pitch to the left of the presidential dais is the area where the belligerent or terrorist forces are located. Today's demonstration will be conducted in several phases. The initial securing of the area by the ground forces, the insertion of the special forces elements via the helicopter, which is the Mi-17 helicopter of the Ghana Air Force we are seeing right now, and then the main conduct of the assault operation. The final phase will be the extraction of the team and the withdrawal of the ground troops. The scenario for today's demonstration is a capture dead or alive operation and retrieval of possible terrorist attack plans. The demonstration involves a group of suspected terrorists who have infiltrated the country and are planning to attack some key national infrastructure. Currently fast roping from the Mi-17 helicopter of the Ghana Air Force are members of the assault team for today's demonstration. Fast roping is a technique used by military forces for quick insertion of troops from helicopters into areas where landing is impractical or too risky. In fast roping, soldiers descend rapidly from a hovering helicopter, as we just witnessed, using specialized rope systems which are typically made of nylon or similar material. Unlike rappelling, where soldiers control their descent using a harness and friction devices, in fast roping, soldiers slide down the rope using specialized gloves with a leather or Kevlar palm to minimize friction. Having safely deployed the Special Forces assault team to the objective area, the helicopter has moved out of sight to allow for the team to conduct the operation, after which they will then be extracted. The team, together with the working dog from the Ghana Military Police called Brave, are approaching the objective area where the suspected terrorists are located. All drone operators are once again being cautioned to ground their drones. Drone operators, you are being cautioned to ground your drones. With the assault forces having successfully neutralized the suspected terrorists, the military working dog Brave is now going around to make sure that they do not have any improvised explosive devices on them. Amongst the many responsibilities of working dogs in the military and other security forces services, they are used for the identification of possible improvised explosive devices and other tasks. To all operations, you are please being cautioned that you are not to video today's proceedings. Thank you. Only authorized media personnel are allowed to video. Having successfully conducted the operation, the helicopter is now going to extract the assault elements of the Special Forces personnel, with the Overwatch team still providing all-round protection to them. Military extraction using helicopters is a crucial operation conducted by various armed forces around the world to remove personnel, equipment, or casualties from a location. This method is particularly vital in situations where ground transportation is impractical, too dangerous, or time sensitive. Extraction operations can serve multiple purposes, including the removal of special operations forces after completing a mission, evacuating wounded personnel from a combat zone, retrieving downed aircrew behind enemy lines, or recovering sensitive equipment or assets. While there are different forms of extraction, today's team is employing rope extraction, and it involves troops harnessing themselves and their equipment to specialized ropes where landing is not feasible. Extraction operations require precise planning, coordination, and communication between ground personnel, air crew, and support elements. Factors such as weather conditions, enemy presence, terrain, and available landing zones must be carefully assessed to ensure the success and safety of the operation. Military personnel involved in extraction operations undergo rigorous training to master the necessary skills and procedures. This includes proficiency in helicopter operations, rope work, medical procedures, and tactical maneuvers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the demonstration we just witnessed today was put together by personnel of the Army Special Operations Brigade in collaboration with personnel of the Ghana Air Force. The crew on the Mi-17 helicopter is captained by Squadron Leader Akwesi Boache, and he is with Wing Commander Benjamin Otre and Squadron Leader Kwabna Anan. The flight engineers on board are Warrant Officer Class 1 Richard Mensah, Flight Sergeant Tebi Kenneth, and Sergeant Omani Ajaif Alfred. Having successfully overseen the conduct of the operation, the Overwatch team has withdrawn safely. Shall we give them another round of applause for that wonderful demonstration? Mr. President, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, with the demonstration and other performances over, the contingent will shortly march on parade for the march past and the equipment display by the various security services.
Abusua yegusua ewo Koforidua Youth Resource Center na Ghana yadi emfie aduosia son 67 years enintine enam so ama yedi 67th Independence Anniversary na parade a yede hye so no na hu se gymnastics for no abeyom de sanso na srafo no nso abeyom de kwan ombefa so se koba ne se terrorist group bi attack o my Ghana na e wo so mo koje won manfo fi o mo nsem a kwan ombefa so e de age o mu nyina de helicopter e be display ya na efe papa na yegusua e wo dwumadie no ase a ye bremo a live feed from the venue ɛha Ghana News TV so ɛna wani gu a wohwɛ no na enche bia no edwumadie no ɛbɛkonkɔn hɔ na afei parties ahodo a ɛtoa so no yɛtumi ɛde ahyehyɛ so na meka wo sɛ nyame adom anwumre ɛwɔ Koforidua stadium ha ya no ade a Kwame Eugene zanso ɛna Kofi Kinata takrade abranteɛ ɛna abranteɛ amachidide nana ɔkyeredɔm the first a ɔno ɛna ɔkyeredɔm hene ɛde ma agogo asante achem agogo obepiem wɔ hɔ na the serious man for the massive performance aba ɛwɔ Koforidua ha kyɛ sɛ Ghana month no de Independence Day ni yɛdi no soronko kwan so unim sɛ high life music oh my Ghana yɛ de aprɛko pɛ a yɛne obiara enchemu Africa ha ɛno nti ɛnam so ama the high life music bɛhyehyɛ so ɛwɔ Koforidua na abusua Hi Ghana News TV so message sɛ ne di kan waba ha wo hwɛ ano subscribe no wa share de ama na me kai wo sɛ Ghana Police TV na my sa free ma ye de somo sɛ Ghana ha bibia ɛfa crime activities kwan obefa so abɔ ho ban adesua ɛfa ne ɔdɔ a ɛda Ghana fo ne aposifo entamu ne sɛ bia wanya police issue kwan ya befa so abe resolve sene oso ne omkasa ne nyoma ekokọ so a posifo ewo se o my Ghana o my ni hu nyina no ohwehwe Ghana Police TV GH Police TV ewo Facebook a obenya bia hwe sanso na kom YouTube channel no so eho so eda so sanso na se wo digital TV so dia scan a GH Police TV eno so no aya na live band ne programs ahodo ni nyina no ubenya bi assign ahwe ho a quality version enti no hwe GH Police TV say YouTube Facebook ni nyina no ubenya bi ahwe ho omo adaroma na video yi nya yede beto anima mmanya bi ahwe na yeguso a so enche bia no parade no yede beba wie na busua me enkoe na yenkohwe ne ayekoso ho ha Ghana News so na me kai won so say abexpress.com and aso ya sene a video a wo hwe nyina no we ka de bro abexpress.com adaroma and wenya bi ehwe enya bi etie Ghana ntoma Ghana ntade ni nyina no abexpress for eton bi enti bomodi ana hwe obachi kwan na eye ahwene Ghana ahwene Ghana kente papa bi se wa we fro pese umfra Ghana kentemi unso ye Ghana ni mapa no ni nyina no kwa abexpress.com awenya na watobi ewo ho sanso ena mekai wo se ebia na ope kwa mixture kwa plus ene vehicle 20 ato a eno nso no hwehwe Salis GM Limited na womo emre obi womo wo UK mamu nti so UK dia na aje so kra de wo atadwe wate de womo dia na hwehwe bachi kwan na omumro obi sanso na meka wo se ANS Trading Agency se Ghana fo mwate de atadwe on se aya na muta hunu car ewa abrochire unya nka beto so usuru se na ukotu akai wie na senia sika afra pata wie na onipa ne de usika aduane ana oye ne den eno na ANS Trading Agency adwen ho se da bi ewo se omtimi bua Ghana fo se ye wo niam bi ewa abrochire apeso de ba Ghana de weba ma sanso na apese wonto Ghana car anaze bibia apeso nto abrochire mra o my Ghana mu no ombe assisto kwan sonko so kra ANS Trading Agency sanso na se wade bi akodi obi nchen wo abrochire na se wo obi di amane no a small packages ni nyina no wo mo je no de 3-4 days pe na o sa ka o my Ghana mu nti hwe ANS Trading Agency ye wi a mebo mo advert no na wanya o contact na bibia ni a wa contact am amoma soto sonko kwan so sanso na se opa atade e de akwa ifro opa atade e de akọ event bia eno no hwehwe Africa clothings and Africa men's couture na mundwa styles wedding atade on bepa mama wo outdoor atade on bepa mama wo hu ntade a fu asanto aduonum Singleton woman ne wo hye ni nyina no wo a enepam ni nyina wo do pillar 2 kwan no so opposite Bremerland Paradise Hotel hwehwe machi kwan na se ebia na bebi a wo no ekowa na nso pese omompam mfama ne wa omo phone number a from a obenyo ma na se WhatsApp obenyo mo ye 0245 899 686 0245 899 686 na omo modia na omo dwudwa styles omo ma o program a okono enye sronkokra we nye we hye onua bia e no mo be e de ama wo we ni Afric clothings ana Afric men couture no mo mpam emfama wo beso se den di kan wa ba ha wo hwe ano subscribe no wa share dia we
played a crucial role in boosting morale, entertaining troops, and maintaining discipline during long marches and campaigns. The band operates today by adopting several formations. They will transition from slow march to a static position in the shape of an arc and reform in quick time into the Idigrassi role called Insa. Insa is a type of moving board renowned for its quality. It is a symbol of excellence, genuineness, and authenticity. After forming the Insa symbol, the band would change from quick to slow time, maintain the same formation, and pay appropriate compliments upon reaching the presidential days. The band would then transition from slow to quick time after playing the appropriate compliments and then counter march. The band has narrative playing a rendition of the popular TV show, theme music, Game of Thrones. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the band has just adopted the formation GH67 in commemoration of Ghana's 67th independence anniversary celebration. Shortly, they will play a rendition of the popular Ghanaian song Yamamu Afishiapa. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the band has just adopted the formation GH67 in commemoration of Ghana's 67th independence anniversary celebration. Shortly, they will play a rendition of the popular Ghanaian song Yamamu Afishiapa. Shall we give the band a round of applause for that wonderful performance? Our Flight Lieutenant Nelson Oklu, who is assisted by Assistant Superintendent of Police Francis Nana Kwame Ofusu. The band masters are Chief Petty Officer Class 1, Warrant Officer Class 1, Mensa Bright, Warrant Officer Class 1, Jube Kapui, with Chief Inspector of Police, Teju Stephen. The drum majors are Warrant Officer Class 2, Blanson Ebenezer, Staff Sergeant Osei Patrick, Able Seaman Class 1, Boachi Isaac, Leading Aircraftsman Yeboah Ayoko, with Chief Inspector of Police Ada. With the trooping of the band over, the parade commander will shortly invite personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces and other security services on parade to march past in slow and quick time. Simultaneously, the parade adjutant and the parade second in command will interchange their positions on parade. The essence of this interchanging of positions on parade is that in the military, the parade adjutant acts as the personal assistant to the commander, while the second in command remains at the rear to administer the rest of the troops.
Our democracy, our pride. We continue to express appreciation to members of the diplomatic corps who've come to Koforidua in their numbers to support as we celebrate our 67th independence anniversary celebrations. To all ministers of state present, the Interior Minister, Honorable Henry Quartey, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Shelley Ayoko-Botwe, and all other ministers present. We really do appreciate your time.
Approaching the days now is the parade commander in the person of Group Captain Fifi Edukwedu. Beside him is the parade adjutant, Lieutenant Commander Abraham Akwetete. Directly behind them is the number 1 contingent, the all-male army contingent, under the command of Captain Jeffrey Oseiko Kufu. The supernumeraries are 2nd Lieutenant David Abuaje and 2nd Lieutenant Al-Hassan Mamani. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Abu Joseph. Directly behind them is the all-female number 2 contingent made up of army personnel. They are under the command of Captain Victoria Gali. The supernumeraries are Lieutenant Gertrude in quick time. We are all kindly reminded to rise and pay the appropriate compliments whenever the colors march past our locations. All in uniform are to salute.
Democracy, our pride. We continue to express appreciation to members of the diplomatic corps who've come to Koforidua in their numbers to support as we celebrate our 67th independence anniversary celebrations. To all ministers of state present, the Interior Minister, Honorable Henry Quartey, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Shelley Ayoko-Botwe, and all other ministers present. We really do appreciate your time.
Approaching the days now is the parade commander in the person of Group Captain Fifi Edukwedu. Beside him is the parade adjutant, Lieutenant Commander Abraham Akwetete. Directly behind them is the number 1 contingent, the all-male army contingent, under the command of Captain Jeffrey Oseiko Kufu. The supernumeraries are 2nd Lieutenant David Abuaje and 2nd Lieutenant Al-Hassan Mamani. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Abu Joseph. Directly behind them is the all-female number 2 contingent made up of army personnel. They are under the command of Captain Victoria Gali. The supernumeraries are Lieutenant Gertrude Jewuda Akon and Lieutenant Hilda Musa. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Ajololu Loveless. Behind them is the number 3 contingent, the all-male Ghana Navy contingent under the command of Naval Lieutenant Emmanuel Atta. The supernumeraries are Acting Sub-Lieutenant Joseph Malededon and Acting Sub-Lieutenant Albert Asani. The contingent Sergeant Major is Petty Officer Class 2 Mensa Nula. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all to rise and pay the appropriate compliment as the colors march past our locations. The national color is carried by Flight Lieutenant Randy Seshi Deku. The escort is Flight Sergeant Soa Benjamin. The Ghana Army color is carried by Captain Ebenezer Dampari. And the Navy ensign is Naval Lieutenant John Selom Kwiti. For the Ghana Air Force, we have Flight Lieutenant Meniam Chum Ampedu. The color escorts are Warrant Officer Class 2 Quartey Benjamin, Staff Sergeant Akanlo Cyprian, Chief Petty Officer Class 2 Hagan Marshall, Petty Officer Class 1 Amu Vincent, Warrant Officer Class 1 Bill Eric, and Sergeant Okanse Julius. Directly behind the color party is the Parade Sergeant Major Senior Warrant Officer Class 2 Kwafo Asari Ajiman. The number 4 all-female Navy contingent is under the command of Naval Lieutenant Faustina Ayona. The supernumeraries are Acting Sub-Lieutenants Patience Owusu Ansan and Elsie Atta. The contingent Sergeant Major is Petty Officer Class 1 Dunu Grace. The number 5 all-male contingent is drawn from the Ghana Air Force, and they are under the command of Flight Lieutenant Bernard Kaputi, with Flying Officer Richard Obinsefa and Flying Officer Michael Boatin as the supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Ama Alfred. The number 6 contingent, the all-female Ghana Air Force contingent, is commanded by Flight Lieutenant Felicia Osei, Felicia Owusu. The supernumeraries are Flying Officer Esther Frimpong and Flying Officer Ivakwe. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Kodo Abigail. Behind the contingent is the Parade Second in Command, Lieutenant Colonel Ampedu Banasco.
Abusuana ekwan no wasan ya ebiwe aboboa no se ne network no ahya se eto ne pan de na age se megidi se ehaya na opese yemfansi nti no but se ekoba ne se network no san ebegina ne na so de ana yebekoso na yasomosompa na until then de mientwa eho sima whilst ye network no ho adwuma yebesan ba enche bia na yade ne wo ho bia no ato so hi Ghana News TV so medin ene nana sefa ne bobo abusua mientwa eho sima mra.
Let us say, the more Abby Express.com. Abby Express.com, the Minia, yeah, I got a phone near Banana, your pop one near the other abexpress.com. And then I won't be free Ghana and Africa. And Papua Saturday. Can tell me now open out your dad down home a party as Siana. Maybe I will be abexpress.com. Ya de Papua near Manu, ya de Browa, abexpress.com. Ya de mu, I mean near and then I will share. Who Europe abroad today and now America. Australia no one, that's Asia now. Maybe I will be a Srokra. Everyone is on abexpress.com. Now you will Sabeka. abexpress.com. Where they end your mo, abexpress.com. Where they papa. abexpress.com. Ya de Ghana, Swallow Rochero. Media, let us say.
Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 1 Theophilus Lawe is commanding the number 13 All-Male Fire Service contingent. The Fire Service Female contingent is commanded by ADO2 Joanna Jelly with ADO1 Lydia Dankwa and ADO2 Josephine Ajekum as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Deputy Group Officer Jim Fippies. ARO Timothy Soka and ARO Michael Inkansa. The contingent sergeant major is Junior Revenue Officer Class 2 Bennett Emmanuel. The female contingent, the number 16 contingent, is commanded by ARO Nora Kunedu Sapong with ARO Patricia Moki and ARO Sandra Asabia Nyapo as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Cindy Enima. The next two.
Ebusia, who person will cry near me free brochure at the bagana na. And if you want some bedom A and S, with 20 and a 40-footer container no. And now a left-hand drive cars and our person will turn amanone. And fan who be free beer. UK, Europe, USA, China, and Asia. So would they bagana bebia ye de bebrel. Ebinam poso anywhere mushe muntino. Eba nentem dia wuni how cra. Yen door-to-door delivery ninso die. Now what tree beer ye cran ye me free UK and Europe. Between 3 to 4 weeks. Na lande yambo nso de boko sawo eba custom nhihye yenso a yetimi ma wa kwantre na ebia na wo de wo paso kakra bi na wo pen tentem de ayade 3 to 4 days ne ye de brel hihye A&S for akira kwan ne wo Europe a wotimi frɛ ye Germany line no e wo +491 737 712 733 Ghana 0249 170 423 na UK so +44 790 80 27 527 A&S Trading Agency Limited yedemu fua.
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now witness the equipment display by the various security services. The contingent sergeant major is Deputy Group Officer Jim Fippies. ARO Timothy Soka and ARO Michael Inkansa. The contingent sergeant major is Junior Revenue Officer Class 2 Bennett Emmanuel. The female contingent, the number 16 contingent, is commanded by ARO Nora Kunedu Sapong with ARO Patricia Moki and ARO Sandra Asabia Nyapo as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Cindy Enima. The next two contingents are provided by the Ghana Immigration Service. The male contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Immigration Mustafa Yaya. The supernumeraries are ASI Emmanuel Ohini Eji Jechi and ASI Asamoah Okuku Menta. The contingent sergeant major is Inspector Samuel Oping Ofe. The female contingent is commanded by DSI Comfort Kofi. and the supernumeraries are DSI Matilda Eureka Kang and ASI Doreen Jechi. The contingent sergeant major is Inspector Benibe Afenyo Deborah. The number 19 and number 20 contingents are from the National Ambulance Service. The male contingent is commanded by Advanced EMT Reginald Frimpong with Advanced EMT Ejiri Felix as the supernumerary. The contingent sergeant major is Advanced EMT Bani David Selassie. The female contingent is commanded by Senior EMT Edith Chiwa Beatrice with Senior EMT Waten Ajwa Jomo and Advanced EMT Fatila Ali as the supernumeraries. The contingent sergeant major is Advanced EMT Luko Millicent. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now witness the equipment display by the various security services. Leading the equipment display are the quad bikes from the 64 Infantry Regiment of the Army Special Operations Brigade. The quad bike is an all-terrain vehicle with low pressure tires with handlebars for steering. They are used for reconnaissance and also to access difficult terrain. On each quad bike this afternoon is a sniper. The quad bikes are under the command of Second Lieutenant Dennis Kranchi. Behind the quad bikes is a modified Land Cruiser, and it has mounted on it a heavy anti-aircraft machine gun. Behind the modified Land Cruiser are modified GMC trucks with Browning heavy machine guns mounted on them. The tracks are reinforced. Behind the modified tracks are modified Land Cruiser tracks with BKMS heavy machine guns in tow. The next display is by the 1-5 Armored Brigade with personnel and vehicles drawn from 153 Armored Regiment. The first troop is made up of the Cobra Electro-Optic Surveillance Systems Armored Personnel Carriers. They are equipped with gunshot detection systems designed to detect, locate, and provide feedback on hostile fire. They are also used to conduct monitoring and surveillance in order to gather accurate and timely information. They are under the command of Captain Atu Pamina Emisa. The vehicles have adopted the diamond formation. Behind them is the second troop, made up of Cobra 2 armored personnel carriers. They are used to support assault troops in conducting special operations such as raids. They have adopted the wedge formation and are under the command of Lieutenant Enoch Techi Amofa. Following the troop closely are the Husky armored personnel carriers. They are under the command of Second Lieutenant Abner Dufie Echampong. Distinguished invited guests, it may interest you to know that the Huskies are being operated by an all-female crew. The Huskies are versatile military vehicles primarily used for route clearing and mine detection operations. The vehicles have adopted the box formation. The next troop is made up of BR-6 armored personnel carriers. They are commanded by Second Lieutenant Prosper Sefa Kwekugan, with Warrant Officer Class 1 Apo James as the troop warrant officer. They are in the V formation. The V formation is used when the enemy situation is uncertain and the troop leader requires firepower to the front and the flanks. The last troop from the 1-5 Armored Brigade is made up of the Rattle Armored Fighting Vehicles, which are commanded by Second Lieutenant Bright Ifa. The Squadron Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 1 Ata Seidu. Following the personnel and equipment from 1-5 Armored Brigade are the personnel and equipment from the 66th Artillery Regiment, which is located at the Volta Barracks in Ho in the Volta region. The first to march past are the Yanan 122mm multiple rocket launcher systems, which have adopted the single file formation. They are under the command of the battery commander, Captain June Samwakon. The battery sergeant major is Warrant Officer one Abuga Ibrahim. Warrant Officer Class 1 Marty George. Following them are the 122mm howitzers, which have also adopted the arrowhead formation. They are under the command of Lieutenant Maxwell Fusu Ajeman. The troop warrant officer is Warrant Officer Class 1 Saki Ebenezer. troop of the 107, the Arrowhead Formation, and under the command of Second Lieutenant Augustus Afari. The troop warrant officer is Warrant Officer Class 2, Abitin Frank. The last troop from the 66th Artillery Regiment are the 105mm howitzer saluting guns. The troop have also adopted a single file formation and are under the command of Staff Sergeant Abeji Enos. The troop warrant officer is Sergeant Lati Joshua. Will be used for the 21 gun salute later today. On display from the Ghana Navy are 2 of the 4 Ghana Navy fast patrol, interceptor and rescue boats. Boats, which are used for anti-smuggling.
What you call the box formation is also one of the crowd control tactics used to escort hostile suspects. We have the pyramid formation, which signifies the strength of the police service and the nation at large. And
and his second in command is Petty Officer Class 1 Abdullah Michel. I will now hand over to Assistant Superintendent of Police Richmond Mensah to continue with the commentary.
Thank you very much, Major Andy Sowate, on the part of the Ghana Police Service. Through the instrumentality and the initiative of the Inspector General of Police, George of the Ghana Police Service, the K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service is under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Awuni Joseph Nyaba, Superintendent of Police Angapa. This unit, through the initiative of the Inspector General of Police, was established under the National Patrol Department. This was formed to deal with the new trend of crime where criminals use motorbikes to commit all sorts of violent crimes such as armed robbery, bag snatching, and assault in our communities. Personnel of this unit have undergone series of training, including the use of sidearms to deal with violent crimes within our community. What we are witnessing this afternoon is for formation by the motorbike patrol unit. The first formation is what we call the wedge formation, spares righteous mob who are about to cause damage to properties. The second group formed what you call the box formation, is also one of the crowd control tactics used to escort hostile suspects. We have the pyramid formation, which signifies the strength of the police service and the nation at large. And what the motorbike patrol unit are telling us this afternoon is that the police service is well prepared for the upcoming general election. And the last group that we are witnessing has formed what we call the patrol formation. It signifies how the police patrol our streets and also within our communities to deal with criminal activities. That is the motorbike unit of the Ghana Police Service. Following closely after the motorbike is what we call the K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service. The K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service is under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Awuni Joseph Nyaba. Approaching closely to the presidential days
is the K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Awuni Joseph Nyaba. He is supported by Inspector Francis Sapon. The K9 unit of the Ghana Police Service was established in June 2019 to offer a specialized resource to the Ghana Police Service through professional utilization of an effective law enforcement tool. The unit is to enhance the Ghana Police Service efforts in crime prevention and detection, criminal apprehension, officer safety, and service to the community as a whole. These handlers with their dogs were trained by the Paramount Specialist K9 Training Academy in South Africa, where they were taken through a lot of courses, including CTS, Spaces Intervention course funded by the European Union from the Guardia Civil in Spain. Currently, through the support of the Inspector General of Police, the K9 unit can boast of about 52 dogs. The unit can boast of about 52 dogs. Followed closely after the K9 unit is the formed police unit. The formed police unit, which is under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Jordan Ashite, and he is assisted by Assistant Superintendent of Police Alexander Opare. The formed police unit was established on 29th July 2013 under the mobile police united operations and also ensuring safety and support to UN personnel as well. To continue from here. Thank you.
It is now the turn of the Ghana National Fire Service vehicles. They have a total of 6 firefighting vehicles on display today. These include firefighting tenders, hydraulic
service. We also have the Guardian, which is used in low-intensity conflicts. We have the Maverick. We also have the light and heavy water cannons, which is used in crowd control, dispersing crowd, quenching fires as well. They are also notable in public order management. Following closely after the FPU is what we call the Ghana Police Mobile Hospital. Ghana Police Mobile Hospital is under the command of Chief Superintendent Dr. Frank Dodu. He is supported by Chief Inspector Ishmael Agmo and Inspector Ruben Jr. The Mobile Police Hospital generally offers medical support to personnel of the service. It also has a mini theater. It has a surgical suite. It is also used for educational purposes, and it is also used for training purposes. After the mobile hospital, we have the National Counter-Terrorism Department of the Ghana Police Service under the command of Deputy Superintendent of Police Johnson Eduseg, supported by Assistant Superintendent of Police Samuel Abensio. The National Counter-Terrorism Department plays a key role in providing the needed safety and security at critical infrastructures, high-risk operations, and public space and events across the length and breadth of the country. They perform so many functions, including Eastern Enclave Joint Border Patrols with the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Immigration Service. They also offer public space protection duties to ensure peace, safety, and security. And they also provide security for VVIP, both foreign and local. At this point, I'll hand you over to Major Andy Sowate to continue from here. Thank you.
It is now the turn of the Ghana National Fire Service vehicles. They have a total of 6 firefighting vehicles on display today. These include firefighting tenders, hydraulic which is used in fire on high-rise buildings, and a recovery hydraulic platform. The platform can be extended to a height of 72 meters and is capable of reaching over 24 floors. It does not carry water but has an attached pump that can pump water at a rate of 6,000 liters per minute. It is followed by 2 PS manufactured firefighting trucks with water capacities of 13,500 liters. Closely behind them is the Volvo dual purpose tender, also with a water capacity of 13,500 liters. Lastly, we have the recovery truck used for towing and lifting vehicles off the road and in ditches. They have adopted the diamond formation. The Ghana National Ambulance Service are on parade this afternoon with 6 Mercedes-Benz ambulances drawn from various constituencies within the region. They are under the command of PAEMT Owusu Felix, who also doubles as the Deputy Regional Administrator. The first ambulance is commanded by PAEMT Lord Nati. The second vehicle is commanded by Advanced EMT Goda Sam and is driven by EMT Osei Bonsu Isaac. The next ambulance is commanded by PEMT Michael Ofosu and is driven by EMT Joshua Tete. The ambulance following closely is commanded by EMT Eric Opoku and it is driven by EMT Evans Tete Odei. The next ambulance is commanded by Advanced EMT Anturi Ali Matu and is driven by EMT Samuel Sapong. The last vehicle is commanded by Advanced EMT Ajono Jones and driven by SI EMT Adrolu Kennedy.
Creation of the One District, One Factory initiative by President Koforidua is encouraging several companies to grow in the automobile industry. On display, Kantanka, Volkswagen, Nissan, Rana Motors, and many others, bringing glory to our country in the automobile industry. All these cars you're seeing are made in Ghana cars. Courtesy Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. These are Kia saloon vehicles as well as SUVs by Rana Motors, all assembled in Ghana. These are all initiatives under the One District, One Factory initiative. Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic. This is unprecedented in the history of our republic, and the people of the Eastern region are very proud of you. Ghana is proud of you. These are Volkswagen vehicles, VW, Nissan SUVs, Nissan Patrols, Hyundai trucks.
We shall see the various contingents form a message for this year's Independence Anniversary celebration, which is GH, Peaceful Elections, meaning Ghana, Peaceful Elections. This message is from the security services
in the Republic of Ghana, all in the name of this great initiative of One District, One Factory. This is Akufo-Addo's creation. approaching the presidential days is a Zonda truck, a 22 cubic Zonda truck. All made in Ghana. We also want to acknowledge the President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, and his delegation to Ghana. The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, His Excellency Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Also to our proud mothers in the house, the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo, and the Second Lady, Hajia Samira Bawumia. The Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, Honorable Akosua Frema Osei Opare, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, and her spouse, thank you all for coming.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, shortly we shall see the various contingents form a message for this year's Independence Anniversary celebration, which is GH, Peaceful Elections, meaning Ghana, Peaceful Elections. This message is from the security services to all Ghanaians.
Ray! Ray! Chin! Shout! Yay! Arms! Ray! By the right! Quick! March!
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what we are seeing now is the contingent on parade forming the message, Ghana, Peaceful Elections. And it is a message from the security services to all Ghanaians. If you are fortunate enough to find yourself at an elevated location, you will better appreciate the message currently on display. The various appointments, together with the color party, are now marching back on parade. Once they take up their positions, the parade commander will reform the parade and then they will advance in review order.
Red uniform in advance in review order. By the center. Quick march.
Shall we please rise for the national salute?
Hey! National salute. Present. Up.
That was the one. Team. Conducting aerial patrols is the Z9 of the Ghana Air Force, and it is captained by Squadron Leader Godwin Buta.
Mr. President, may I have your permission to stand the parade at ease for your anniversary address? Mr. President.
The parade commander has just asked for permission to stand the parade at ease for the special guest remarks and the anniversary speech by the President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. The members of the helicopter crews are Wing Commander Charles Dao and Wing Commander Benjamin Ochre, with squadron leaders Emmanuel Abuaje Menye, Akwesi Boache, Kwabna Anan, Courage Fianco, Ifia Amponsan, and squadron leader Abdul Nasser Salia.
Guests, ladies and gentlemen,
abusuanti your special guest of honor Yura Alassani Ouattara a free Cote d'Ivoire maimu ebaye na ye gina no disem na network no to no paka krant no mesre na mo dia chen na abusuan me ensan ko na ye nko hese network na atoto mu yi ana.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I respectfully invite Excellency Alassane Ouattara to deliver his remarks.
Your Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, First Lady, Vice President and Madams, before anything, I'd like to say what a beautiful celebration. I'd like to say what a beautiful celebration. Bravo.
I was a video no to the
The 67th anniversary of independence of your great and beautiful country. On this special occasion from the people of Cote d'Ivoire, who are your brothers and sisters. I must say that it's a great pleasure for me to be here today with you and the great people of Ghana to experience once more the legendary hospitality of Ghana. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are bound not only by geography, but also by history, friendship, and culture. History, friendship, and culture. January 13, yesterday, the march and Asante Kotoko was another celebration of the friendship and solidarity between Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. But obviously, since Cote d'Ivoire remain friends. Congratulations to the two teams. Thank you. Congratulations to the two teams. Thank you very much again for your invitation, my dear friend. Happy Independence Day to you, to all the people, the brothers. In Ghana, despite the adverse challenges at the global level, with COVID, the war on Ukraine, and obviously in Gaza and Palestine. I would like to thank you for your commitment to regional economic integration, as shown during your tenure President of ECOWAS. Yes, you did an exceptional job, an outstanding job, and as the other head of state, no, I did not want you to leave. I thought you should continue for many, many years. I also want to thank Ghana for your contribution to the success of the 34th AFCON, which took place in Cote d'Ivoire from January 13 to February 11 of this year. Yesterday, the match between ASEC Mimosa and Asante Kotoko was another celebration of the friendship and solidarity between Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. But obviously, since Cote d'Ivoire is the champion of AFCON, ASEC was the winner of the championship, but we remain friends. Congratulations to the two teams. Thank you very much again for your invitation, my dear friend. Happy Independence Day to you, to all the people, the brotherly people of Ghana. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Enti abusua omampani a wo free ye Koforidua eba na obeso ya asene behwe ye boae eba yedi ye independence 67th independence ye Yera Alassani Ouattara awono ene mampani ema Koforidua AFCON champions 2023-2024 AFCON champions na odina no disem atudwa no ochese Asante Kotokonra omo hye omo correct aba but ni nyina echi no enamfofa eda yenche yentem no de ensesa ena bibia be koso busu am yenko ne yenko hwe amamre ene amane
Enfa woni ni awufru ene ni awowo utumi ko suku wo Ghana fanan biara ejapa onni bi ejananado wama suku kwa ayefo aya akono Ghana esuku fuma wo amo ni nase Baudiem. Yam mau akwaba. Mau atnasi. Ghana mampenyini. Nana ado dankwa ekufu ado. Osia die yo. Nana ado dankwa ekufu ado no. Say, Okatachie, Abrimpo, Dokia Nana. Ufrias Chesadaruma inti. Ghana mo friend na ko suku.
A round of applause for the students. And the drama was Emmanuel Pachi in Cancer. Narrators were Mary Nyadevo and Dorothy Ousua, all of Ghana Senior High School. Yes, he is the one. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the royal son of the son of the Asona clan of Ghana, the grandson of Achim that drinks from River Brim, the royal son of an Achim man that creates a settlement and develops it from generation to generation. A great warrior that Ghana rests on your shoulders. You have advertised Ghana to the whole world by making it very attractive. Nana, you have come to your royal home, Eastern region. You are mostly welcome. Yes, that is he. He is the one. Ghana's president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the man of wisdom. You promise and you deliver. You promise Ghanaians that you will make all senior high and technical vocational schools in Ghana free. You said it and you have done it. Just for the love you have for the ordinary Ghanaian, because of your free SHS technical and vocational education, all Ghanaian children attend school free, no matter where you are and where you come from. Good father, Nana Addo, the father of the orphans, You have made going to school very easy and attractive. Ghanaian students salute you. All parents say thank you. It is an uncultivated land that is called deep forest. Your Excellency, the people in the Eastern region are so amazed for you hosting the Independence Day anniversary in the region. The 11 paramounts, their chiefs, and queen mothers in the region are most grateful for this honor. Mr. President, deliver your inspiring message to the people of Ghana. We humbly request that you take your majestical walk to the days and speak. Speak to your people. Thank you.
Eminent clergy, Christian, the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, our special guest, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, First Lady, Vice President and Second Lady, my Chief Justice and spouse, the representative of the chairperson and other members of the Council of State, Chief of Staff of the Office of the President, and officials of the Presidency, Eastern Regional Minister, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, Metropolitan Municipal and District Chief Executives, leaders of political parties, the Chief of Defense Staff, and Service Chiefs of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Inspector General of Police, heads of other security services, men and women of all the security services, President and members of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, Omahene of the New Drabin Traditional Area, and other traditional rulers, the Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps. Start by welcoming our special guest of honor, the redoubtable president of our western neighbor, the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, to the formal celebrations of the 67th anniversary of Ghana's independence. I thank the children from across the country for some of the best of Ghanaian culture. I thank the officers, men and women of Ghana and the other security services. Their willingness and warm congratulations to you, Monsieur le Président, and your country on staging a most successful AFCON and the dramatic exploits of your national team that ended in your winning the continental competition and being crowned African football champions. Our sixth victory over Kotoko is in the same direction. Congratulations to you, to Cote d'Ivoire, and to the elephants. As we all can see, this year has begun with the victory. I'm afraid that competition we would much rather not remember or even talk about. But Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are good neighbors, and we cannot begrudge your excellent performance and learn from the many lessons that AFCON 2023 has to teach. Welcome to Ghana, Monsieur le Président, and thank you very much for honoring our invitation and joining us for our independence anniversary celebrations. Ghana is your home. The relationship between our countries is as it should be, for we share a common boundary, a common history, and a common culture, including common languages, and as we would both say, Akwaba. We're greatly honored by your presence, and we pay homage to your distinguished leadership, preeminent in the annals of contemporary Africa, which has brought your country back from the chaos of a painful civil war and its aftermath, back to the stability and prosperity. The strong bonds of friendship and cooperation that have existed during our respective tenures of office are evidenced by two key developments. First is the Agreement for Strategic Partnership that was entered into by President Ouattara and I on 17th October 2017 during my first year at the presidency, which has paid off, especially in the cocoa sector, by enabling our two countries to coordinate our policies over cocoa, of which we are the world's biggest producers, accounting jointly for some 65% of global output. This has been of considerable benefit to our respective farmers, who have received the highest price per bag of cocoa in our respective histories. The other is the mature manner in which the maritime border two countries will set celebration. To rotate the celebrations around, instead of staging them only in Accra, the nation's capital, has certainly turned out to be a welcome nation-building exercise.
Wait a mestre na modi ache me ene network no edi ani papa edi ani se prefer enti ya besre na modi ache na me fasa kwan no so na maka wo se se opese onto car ana opese onto bibi ewo ama akwantuo mu na ohwe kwan e be faso abedu Ghana ha hwehwe ANS Trading Agency.
The other is the mature manner in which the maritime border dispute between our two countries was settled by the Maritime Court in Hamburg. The elevated stance of statesmanship in Ghana's favor was peacefully accommodated by Côte d'Ivoire. Mr. President, we thank you very much. My dear compatriots, fellow Ghanaians, the theme chosen for this year's Independence Day celebrations is our democracy, our pride. And I welcome all of you to Koforidua, the capital of the Eastern region, which is hosting the celebrations this year. The decision to rotate the scene of the national celebrations around the country focus attention on a different region every year, and at the same time rallies the nation together in that region. Our host this year, the Eastern region, was very much at the center of the independence struggle of our country. It is home to 3 members of the Big Six of the United. It is home to 3 members of the Big Six of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC of blessed memory. The acknowledged founders of our nation, Joseph Boakai Dankwa, Edward Akufo-Addo, and William Ofori-Atta. Their love of politics will seem to have continued into succeeding generations, with the son of one of them being the current president of our country. The other members of the Big Six were Emmanuel Obecha Bilanti, Ebenezer Akwaje, and Kwame Nkrumah, who together with George Alfred Parr Grant, R.S. Blay, Kwabena Kessie, Francis Awona Williams, Ni Kwabena Boni, Boycott Hini, and others, were the successors of the early generation of nationalists, such as the members of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society. Their membership included Jacob Say, George Moore, Joseph Casely Hayford, John Mensah Saba, W.E.G. Kwabena Sechi, J.W. DeGraff Johnson, J.P. Brown, and others, who protected our lands from the grasp of the greedy imperialists and who initiated the first phase of our struggle for national independence. On such a day, we must also remember the contribution of Yaa Asantewaa, Thomas Hutton Mills, James Kwegyir Aggrey, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, Private Odate Lamte, V.B. Anna, Jimmy Quistas, Mabel Dove, Akwaso Soso, Dede Asikinchan, Komla Agbeli Bedema, Kojo Botsio, Kofi Bako, Krobo Eduse, Nancy Tibo, Mumuni Bawumia, S.D. Dombo, Kofi Abrefa Busia, Joe Apia, Victor Owusu, R.R. Ramponsan, Bafo Seakoto, Modesto Apalu, S.G. Anto, Yakubu Tali, and Ephraim Amu, to the liberation of our country and to the birth of our democracy. The work of all these great patriots culminated in the immemorial words of our nation's first leader, Kwame Nkrumah, when he stated on the eve of 6 March 1957 that, at long last, the battle has ended. It's not surprising, therefore, that the region is home to many educational institutions, including the first middle school and first training college in the country, both in Akropong. The old and beautiful stone churches along the scenic mountain road of the Akwapim Hills remain an attraction. It must surely be as a result of Akwapim Tree being the first Ghanaian language to have been written that the culture and mannerisms of the people became adopted in the formal recognition and rendition of Ghanaian culture. When we say it is a part of Ghanaian culture to be respectful in conversations, I dare say the source must be the legendary Akwapim insistence that even an insult must be preceded with a please. They remain the repository of the rules of proper behavior. It is here in the eastern region that we find the beautiful and intricate beadworks that are defining features of Ghanaian jewelry. The Krobos are the masters of the ancient art and have modernized it to make beads attractive not only to the old, but also to the present generation as well. The eastern region is also the home of the Kwaus, Ghana's unquestioned leading entrepreneurs, and an example to all of us of what private enterprise can achieve. It is furthermore the home of the Achims, the single biggest ethnic group in the region, who founded one of the most ancient states of Ghana's history, with an unbroken record of chiefly government dating from the 14th century till today. It is home too of the Akwamus, whose renowned military exploits extended to freeing Christiansborg Castle from the control of the Danish. I've mentioned specific groups that make up the eastern region, but as I stated earlier, it is a region where the whole of Ghana merges into a melting pot and lives in harmony, and different groups feed on the strength of each other for the good of the whole. This is the same scenario that is played on the national scene, where different people have come together to form the Ghanaian nation and a national identity for the past 67 years. Fellow Ghanaians, we have good reason to choose as our theme and to celebrate our democracy, our pride, at this 67th anniversary of our independence. We are a democratic nation, and not every country can make such a claim. It is important to note that the democratic system of government we have today was not given to us at independence. More than 100 years of British rule have not prepared us in any way for democracy. There is nothing democratic about colonial rule. And whatever we have today, we have worked out for ourselves. All the defining elements of a democracy that are part of our governance architecture today, we have had to fabricate ourselves. Everything we know about elections today, and we know quite a bit, we have learned through hard practice. And in the past 31 years, we have been stable. We've not got a perfect system, but every time we've had elections during this the previous occasion, we have still a lot more to learn, especially when it comes to the tolerance of opposing views. But we also know that we dare not relapse, as there are many examples of countries that have disintegrated into chaos as a result of disputed elections. We know that technology is a useful tool that we must embrace to make the electoral process more transparent. But we are very much aware that technology also now makes it possible and easier for the deliberate manipulation and propagation of falsehood to influence public opinion. When it comes to free speech and a vigorous media as indicators of a working democracy, I believe we can say we are doing well. There's no danger of dissenting voices not being heard on any subject, even though we have still more work to do on elevating the quality of our public discourse. We take our disputes to the courts for adjudication and resolution, and the judicial system operates within agreed and acceptable rules. When we look around our neighborhood, we might be tempted to think that our work is done, but we Ghanaians have never been known to settle for mediocrity. We should compare ourselves with the best that there is and not settle for anything less. For as long as there is poverty and injustice anywhere in Ghana, our work is not done. On a day like this, we should pay homage, of course, as I have done to our forebears and the elders who fought for independence, and worked through the years to establish all that we have to be proud of today. But our attitude should always be that there are better days ahead and work towards that, instead of yearning for some bygone good old days. The greatest challenge remains the provision of good quality education to all of Ghana's children and young people. We have a lot to be proud of, but we have more work to do. I'm happy that through the implementation of the free senior high school policy, we're removing financial barriers to education, unlocking the potential of thousands of young Ghanaians, and laying the foundation for a brighter future for our country. This year, we have seen the highest ever enrollment of first. That is the figure of 503,000 students, a clear indication of the widespread of the widespread embrace of the free senior high school policy. We should be able to offer every Ghanaian child the best education there can be. And having completed high school, our children should be equipped with skills that make them prepared to face the modern world. Our schools must prepare our children to be comfortable with science and technology, engineering and mathematics, and ready to compete in the modern economy. Fellow Ghanaians, there's more to preparing a child to face the world than what can be taught in a classroom. And there's certainly more to molding a Ghanaian child than what our hard-working teachers do every day. Too many parents have relinquished the entire responsibility of bringing up children to what happens in schools. I do not refer only to our music, dance, food, language, and fashion that form the basis of our cultural identity. I refer to the values that set us apart as Ghanaians. If we are to take pride in being Ghanaian, there should be a consensus on the values we hold dear, and we should transmit them to every generation. Fellow Ghanaians, I know that we have gone through difficult economic circumstances, but it is clear that we have overcome the worst, and we are looking forward to better times. I wish to make reference in particular to two projects coming on stream that should make a great difference to the economic fortunes of our country. I refer to the successful selection of strategic partners that will work with the Ghana Integrated Aluminum Development Corporation, GIADEC, to build a new alumina refinery and develop mines at Nyinahini in Pasaso, as 3 or 4 projects being executed under the Integrated Aluminum Industry IAI projects. I've witnessed the signing of 2 agreements in Accra recently. Firstly, between GIADEC, a wholly owned public entity, and Rockshore International, a wholly owned Ghanaian private company, selected after a rigorous process as a strategic partner to develop a mine at Nyinahini in Pasaso. And secondly, between GIADEC and Miscellaneous SA, a leading global industrial and energy company, which entails the development of a second mine at Nyinahini in Pasaso and the establishment of an aluminum refinery. We are finally coming to the end of decades of exporting raw bauxite from the country. We shall now refine bauxite mined in Ghana to produce alumina that will feed the Valco smelter and the downstream aluminum industry, which is going to have a dramatic impact on Ghanaian industrialization, where we produce parts for motor vehicles, aircrafts, roofing sheets, and household utensils. It has taken a long time for us to get to this stage. We've taken the trouble to make sure that we get it right. As an indigene, it is my hope that once litigation over the Atewa Forest Range in Chebi is settled, we will be able to develop also the Chebi bauxite mine and refinery that will help deliver employment and high-paying jobs for our people, and also ensure integration and value addition across the bauxite aluminum value chain. The other major project that is coming on stream, which is bound to make a dramatic change to the economy, is the Adar Songor Salt Project, being spearheaded by Electrochem Salt Mine Limited, led by the dynamic Ghanaian entrepreneur, Mr. Dan McCaukley, aka McDan. After many years of disputes, and salt will be mined on a large commercial scale. With its initial ability to produce some 650,000 metric tons of salt per annum, and expanding its productive capacity to 1 million metric tons this year, and to 2 million metric tons by 2027, at 99.9% purity, the Electrical Salt Mine will be the biggest salt-producing facility in the whole of Africa. These are figures that should spell a significant change in the economy and cheer us up. I am optimistic that together with other initiatives of this government, we are on the verge of a breakthrough in our economic fortunes. I must mention another important ingredient in the democratic structure which is needed for prosperity, which is the rule of law. Businesses can only prosper in an atmosphere that guarantees the rule of law. My compatriots, fellow Ghanaians, the rule of law is not an alien concept. It is not something that can be applied selectively. For it to be effective and have a positive influence, it must be applicable to all aspects of offices and workplaces, to junior officials and chief executives, to traditional leaders and members of parliament, to famous artists, sportsmen and footballers, and yes, to the president too. We cannot hope for economic prosperity without adhering to the rule of law. There are few amongst us who equate the freedom that was proclaimed at the arrival of independence with the freedom to ignore the rules and regulations that should guide our lives. Aspirations for prosperity go hand in hand with the discipline necessary for the rule of law. Fellow Ghanaians, on the day we celebrate our nationhood, we cannot and should not leave out a reference to the physical state of the land that constitutes Ghana. We cannot claim to love Ghana when we treat with such disdain and total careless abandon the forests, the rivers, the vegetation, the creatures, and the soils that make up Ghana. The Almighty has been kind and generous to us, and our beautiful land deserves to be treated with tender, loving care. Unless we change how we treat the land, future generations would not recognize the Ghana they read about in the land we bequeath to them. I stay firm in my conviction that extracting the minerals we have been blessed with should not lead to the destruction of the forests and rivers. We should all dedicate ourselves anew to taking care of Ghana. I must at this stage reaffirmed government's continued commitment to providing the support for victims of the recent extensive flooding in downstream communities in the Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta regions, caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam last year, and necessary action which was taken to maintain the dam's structural integrity. As set out in the 2024 budget, government has set aside 220 million cedis, of which 80 million cedis has already been released by the Ministry of Finance to support the ongoing rehabilitation efforts for the affected communities. Government will stop at nothing to restore normalcy to the lives and livelihoods of all affected persons. Fellow Ghanaians, on Friday, 8th March, the 13th African Games will be officially opened in Accra, and we shall be playing host to 53 African nations that will participate in the Games. We've gone to a lot of trouble and expense to be able to stage the Games, and we are expecting them to be successful. I'm looking at our guest of honor, President Alassane Ouattara, and I wonder if I should draw some parallels. He has also just staged the AFCON 2023, which was postponed to 2024, instead of the scheduled 2023. The Games here too should have been held in 2023, but were postponed to 2024. Football tends to attract more attention, and therefore the AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire dominated the headlines for the 1 month it took place. The Ivorian national team, the Elephants, defied all odds and won the competition. I am not promising a Ghana clean sweep of track and field. That would be a miracle. But I'm promising a happy and exciting month for all our visitors. We in Ghana know how to set the lead. We did it in 1957, when we were the first African nation in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence from colonial bondage. We have got other firsts with doubtful boasts, but we have always managed to get out of difficult situations with amazing grace. We owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to be that shining black star. We owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to continue to have a democracy of which we can be proud. And we owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to be a prosperous nation. And we are getting there, and we shall get there. Happy 67th Day Independence Day celebration to all of us. And may God bless all of us in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
That was the 67th Independence Anniversary Address by
Interbusia Omampani na Nana Danko Akufo-Addo na wadina no disem atudwa the 67th Independence Day Anniversary Parade no ase Koforidua Resource Center Koforidua. Interbusia yeso pani dware na nsu asenti no Omampani edina no disem atudwa no de na chese bibia etu atwa ama sesia no won ebe mache na won free field no so na bibia akona wiye enti Ghana ye Independence Day yaji ye ho free akwasiko ko nsem no mfie duosia nson eni 67 years ayaji ye ho free akwasiko ko nsem ochemu se independence no yaji ye ho wiye no na nya se ni nyina no ahogon so na emum baby a ya bedui ene nioma ya ye nyina no yen ya ye modembo enye obi ene so ya sene yen Ghana fo na yaji ye ho tu mu ene eboaboa ye ho ane se ne ya beduru bia ya du no onam so eda empanifo akwawu ahemfo ne kwawu mpanifo ka ho krobofo ka ho chese krobofo kra de ahwene eye tete nioma na yetetefoɔ no ɛyɛ ne nyinaa no wogusu ekita dwumadie mu a wɔn ɛyɛ no kama paa na wɔn nam so koraa ama sisi a no abɛɛfo nsa no wɔn de nyinaa ka ho sɛ bɛyɛ a ɛnkɔyɛ adeɛ bi a atwam na emom ɛbɛyɛ ade foforɔ na atumi afete in yɛ current baabi a yɛabɛdu as ɔman Ghana no nti no ɔnam saa kwanya no so nso ɛda wɔn a ɛbaeɛ nyinaa ase ɔpanin a ofiri ɛyɛ Cote d'Ivoire yɛwura Alassane Ouattara ɔda n'ase saa nso ɛna Ghanafoɔ bi a ɛtumi ɛbɛpie mu ɛwɔ dwumadie no ase nyinaa no ɔda wɔn ase na ɔkyerɛ sɛ ɔman Ghana esi a no ɛnkyɛ biara na yɛde abatoɔ bɛhyɛ so nti no ɛno nso na ɔbɛsrɛ kwan biara yɛbɛtumi afa so na abatoɔ no akɔ yie na ɛnkɔyɛ menteme ho ase wei asɔre wei apagya no ho wei ayɛ ne nyinaa no yɛnhwɛ na biribiara ɛmmɔtoa na ewie a yɛka sɛ Ghana ɛna ayɔ ɔnam saa kwanya no so nso ɛma yɛn nyinaa happy Independence Day. Nti abusua na nea ɛkɔwie ɛno no mɛka wɔ sɛ ANS Trading Agency sɛ mo a mo Ghana na mo wɔ bibi tɔ ɛwɔ akwantuo mu amanɔne na mo hu kwan yɛbɛfa so abedu ɔman Ghana mu no ɔmo aba ɛbɛtie mu so frɛ na ɔmo ahwɛ na ɔmo atu so anamɔ nti sɛ wahu car ɛwɔ aburokyire na apɛ sɛ wɔntɔ a just reach out to them, they will sort you out. saa nso ɛna ebi a bibia wahunu sɛ yɛ camera sɛ yɛ den ɛde wahu ɛwɔ aburokyire apɛ sɛ wɔntɔ no just reach out to ANS Trading Agency wo search ANS Trading Agency a onsa bɛka wɔn na wa reach out na wɔn aboa wo saa kwan soronko so sɛ nso sɛ wadeɛ bi ɛna akɔdi aburokyire wɔ sɛ ɛba Ghana na wohia na anim yɛ abɔmɔden na reach out to them na wɔn wɔ small parcel section ɛno no 3 to 4 working days na wɔn sa ka ɛwɔ ɔman Ghana mu a wonya no baabi a sɛ whether sɛ bɛyera ne ade deɛ magye wɔn atom menim dwuma wɔn di me nneɛma wɔn agye aba nti ɛna ama me di wɔn ho adanse akyerɛ me nua tabusua mekae wɔn so sɛ ɛyɛ abiexpress.com aso yɛ asene a wɔn sɛ Ghana sɛ ɛyɛ kente sɛ ɛyɛ ntoma sɛ ɛyɛ ahweneɛ akorɔbɔfoɔ ebe display ne nyinaa no wopɛ bi atɔ abiexpress.com ɛbɛtɔn bi ama wɔ atade a apam nyinaa no ɔmo obi a reach out to them a US number no +1803 243 5220 +1803 243 5220 anaasɛ Ghana number no 0244 423658 0244 423658 saa nso ɛnafu asanto aduonum ne ntade a wɔhyehyɛ yɛ nyinaa bɛsi ne ntade a wɔhyɛ yɛ Ghana made local African made African style ne nyinaa no Afric clothings ɛna ɛpam ɛde ma wɔn saa nso ɛna wɔn wɔ mɛɛma ɛde a ɛyɛ Afric men couture a wɔn pam mɛɛma ntade nyinaa nti no sɛ ɛyɛ occasion biara no reach out to them ɛyɛ yiw ɛyɛ ekuo ntoma na wɔn pɛ sɛ wɔn ntwa o sɛ ɛyɛ ayeforo ntadeɛ wedding gown ni nyinaa no mo pam hwehwɛ o machi kwan ɛwɔ Domi Plateau kwan so Bremerland Paradise Hotel no mo di hwɛ anim so hwehwɛ o na wo pɛ sɛ wo ne o nkasa WhatsApp ana normal call no wo from 0245 899 686 0245 899 686 and as Instagram hwɛ Afric clothings mpacho clothings near KLOTHENZ na omo ema atade ndwudwa style kama pa na fa ko occasion bia wo pese onfa nko na ye koidie na abusua mamenka wo se eye Salis Gem Limited won se Ghana kwa mixture edrumo nwaso no omo obi e wo UK sanso na eye kwa plus edrumo nwaso no omo obi sanso na eye se ope joy product joy for omo product a eye vehicle 20 ato ani nyina no ohwehwe Salis GM Limited Salis General Merchandise Limited a ombema obi ato kama pa na watimi anom anya apomuden mapa sadru ya na omanfo bi enom a ene omunya hoden na omutimi de kom nnwuma so obre ene akokrohwe ase nyina ewo obi manso abrochire nyina no omutimi fa saa kwan no so enya hoden ade bia omsori a omda esore omonte bre yare ye krankro na ha omo ani nyina no won no mu a omo ho etom sa kwan no so se wope bi atu nso dia na wahwehwe ye chi kwan eye Ghana News wo contact ye ya ye benya ye bebo modern na yama onsa ka bi ntentam kwan soronko so na watimi atu akoton ba bibia wo wiase afa na nyina no ebetimi ahyepe de abro afa DHL nim say DHL so there 3 to 4 working days na onsa ka ba bia wo ye number no 0246075939 0246075939 Mr. Wa say ebia na live events wedding engagement chese ye program bia opese Ghana News TV ye live stream ma ana ye me cover ma on ni nyina no reach out on 0246075939 ebe momodia na yaba na yabe ya ma amana efe na Ghana News TV de odia na odia sem abusua medi usi ha de na yenkoe na parade no ebra mo be dissolve no kwan o mo fa so dissolve ni bibia ni nyina me chew se kind courtesy GH Police TV ena my feed ya ama ye de ebe somo na me kai wo se GH Police TV no ene mo ye bi ene se Ghana hawa ebia unya issue police problem a kwan obefa so atwiti no ene bibibia efa bambo nia ewosa woye ne ensesa woye nyina no GH Police TV omomasa education no enti se ebia social media na person hwe omo ahwe omo Facebook YouTube GH Police TV ubenya omo osanso ena se u TV no so na person hwe omo ofia o scanner digital no GH Police TV ehonso omo ho a omo streami live 24/7 enti bomode ana hwe wachi kwa midi ene na sifa ngo na busuami enko Koforidua na yenkohwe color party matches off.
Shall we please rise once again for the national salute?
National salute. Out.
Ebusia, upese ukra ne mefri abrotri edeba Ghana na. Ene efe ho asem bedom ANS. Wo 20 ana 40 footer container no. Ana eye left hand drive cars ena upese wo tono amanone. Emfa ho ba bi free bia. UK, Europe, USA, China, ana Asia. Se wo de ba Ghana be bia ye de bebrel. Ebi na mposo ene wiemu hyemu ntino. Eba ne ntem dia woni ha okra. Ye door to door delivery ne nso de. Na watwi bia ye kra ne mefri UK ene Europe. Between 3 to 4 weeks na lande yembo nso de boko sawo eba custom nhihye yenso a yetimi ma wakwantre na ebia na wo de wo paso kakra bi na wo pen tentem de ayade 3 to 4 days ne ye de brel hihye ANS fo akira kwan ne wo Europe a wotimi frɛ ye Germany line no e wo +491 737 712 733 Ghana 0249 170 423 na UK so +44 790 80 27 527 ANS Trading Agency Limited yedemu fua
of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara.
distinguished.
Media, let us say, the more baba abiexpress.com. Abiexpress.com, the media, yeah, I got a phone near Bagina, the abiexpress.com. And then I want to hear free Ghana, and Africa, and Papua, and Saturday. Can tell me that I want to know the other who are party as Siana. Maybe I will be abiexpress.com. Yadia Papua, Yamano, Yadia Brewa, abiexpress.com. Yadia, I'm in there, and then I want to share. Who are Europe abroad today, and now America, Australia, no one, that's Asia now. Maybe I will be in Slokra. Everyone is on abiexpress.com. Now you want Sabeka, abiexpress.com. Where they end your mo, abiexpress.com. Where they papa, abiexpress.com. Yet the Ghana and Swallow Rocheriho. Media, let us say, the more baba abiexpress.com. abiexpress.com.
Superintendent Mary Claire Agamba holds the distinction of being the first female officer to head the police mounted squadron. With a diverse